Hello everyone, it is Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Welcome back to my channel. I am here for a pen unboxing and review of a pen that I didn't think I would ever buy again. And it was one of those things where I felt like I had to really reevaluate why I didn't want these pens in my collection at first and why I want them in my collection now. And here they are. Yes, you have not seen a TWSBI box in any of my recent pen unboxing videos. Why did I buy this again, and why did I buy two? Well, let's unbox these, shall we? So these are both TWSBI Ecos, and by the boxes you can tell that they're not just your regular TWSBI Ecos. They are the cream rose gold and the Caffe Bronze. The colors got me, honestly. The colors got me to the point where I sat down with myself and thought, do I really want to try the TWSBI Eco again? Because I love these colors so much. And I'll even post a picture here of Lucy, who looks absolutely miserable that I'm making her take this picture, but she is the inspiration for why I got the cream rose gold, but also just the Caffe Bronze is such a beautiful color. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, show you kind of the parts and features of this pen, but then I am going to use it for the next couple of weeks and then do a proper review. It's not going to be a years later review or anything like that, but at least I'll have used it for a couple of weeks, you know, try and journal with it, do some Zentangles, and really just try to get acquainted with it again. So when you open your TWSBI Eco box, it comes with the manual, basically how to fill your pen, but then it also comes with the wrench so that you are able to take the piston out of the pen. It also comes with the silicone grease. So in the event that your piston actually becomes quite hard to move up and down the pen body, you can add a little bit of that silicone grease in there to help that function become a lot smoother so that you're able to take pen up into the piston there. So let's take these out and look at these compared to other pens in my collection. Now, let's get these out of the way. So there are the two pens side by side, and in pictures, it was so hard to tell what the color is, and even unless you see it in person, it's so hard to tell. Like the Caffe Bronze is definitely brown, and the brown is leaning more a little orange, but then you've got the bronze trim here, and it's hard to see the difference unless you've got it next to, you know, a rose gold. The rose gold has the pinkish tone to it, obviously, because it's rose gold, but then the bronze is really, it's a perfect match for that cafe color. And the cream, unless you have the white one, and I do not have a white TWSBI to compare it to, it's hard to see why the cream is so different, but I really do love the color of these pens to the point where you know, when was the last time I owned a TWSBI Eco? It was a couple of years ago, and it had a 1.1 stub on it, and then I sold it because the 1.1 stub was just too big for me. And I was going through, well, really going through the exploration of my whole collection. And then when I finally decided to purchase these two pens, Stephen Brown came out with a video called Devaluing Inexpensive Pens. And really the whole premise of the video is that the longer that you are in the fountain pen hobby, and I'm totally summarizing here, but the longer that you are in the fountain pen hobby and the more that you invest in one pen, it makes you devalue the inexpensive pens. So simply put, basically, you know, why would I spend $500 on 10 pens when I can get one really good pen for $500? And I am guilty of that. You know, I am guilty of saying, You know, why would I spend money on a less expensive pen when I could save up for a really, really expensive pen? And I am guilty of that, but I'm also guilty of devaluing the less expensive pens. The less expensive pens are not at all lesser in quality in terms of like the writing experience, which is why I wanted to give these a try again. So I'm going to compare these to the sizes of other pens that I have in my collection. I'll do a quick writing sample, and then I will use these pens for the next couple of weeks and come back with my, I guess, 2 weeks later review. So there are the two TWSBI Ecos next to a Pilot Kakuno, and then some other favorites that I have in my collection. We have the Esterbrook Esty. I'm also going to compare it to the size of a Pelikan M800. I'm also going to compare it to the size of a Memento Zero. And one more. What do I want to compare it to out of everything in my collection? There we go. A Lamy 2000. And actually, when I look at all of them together, the Pilot Kakuno is the shortest one, but in terms of width, they don't look drastically different. The Pilot Kakuno probably looks the narrowest in width, but the rest of them don't look too bad. So let's look at them uncapped. So there are all of the pens uncapped, and you can see the TWSBI Eco, I mean, not counting the hooded nib on the Lamy 2000, the TWSBI Eco has a similar sized nib to the Pilot Kakuno. So I believe the Eco, what was the size of this? Is it a number 4? I think it's a number 4 size nib, whereas on the Esty and the Leonardo Memento Zero, they're number 6 size nibs, which is actually similar in size to the nib that's on the Pelikan M800. And then in terms of length, I don't post my pens, so this is really the length that I prefer. They're actually a very good size, and if I hold it quickly, it is a good size in my hand. And if you are a poster, the TWSBI Eco does post well and actually posts quite securely. It makes it a little bit back heavy. If you're trying to do it like that, it does make it a little bit back heavy, but not so much so that it makes it hard to write with. So that is the comparison. Now let's take a quick weight of the pens. So the Eco capped is 21 grams, and then uncapped it is 13 grams. So actually not that bad of a weight for a pen. Obviously that is without any ink in there. And there was one other thing I was going to say, and now I've completely forgotten. But then I'll also post the dimensions of the pen here so that you'll be able to see the length and the grip and all of those dimensions as well. Okay, so here are some of the new inks that I have received, and I was thinking like these would actually be good candidates for what to put in this pen. Now, I love Le Bon Aphrodite, and I would totally put it in that pen. Yeah, because of the rose gold in there, I would put that in that pen. Okay, so a possibility, but also I thought the other possibility for this one could be Moonstone, Monteverde Moonstone. And even when you look at it in the swatch, there's like hints of pink in there that I think would be really lovely with that. So I think those are my two possible choices for the cream rose gold. But then when it comes to the Caffe Bronze, I do not have a coffee ink. These are the closest ones. Like I like Diamine sepia for it, but I also like raw sienna, either raw sienna or writing desk. I think raw sienna might be the winner in this one. So I'm going to ink these up. I'm not going to fill them all the way because that's just a ton of ink and I never get through that much ink. So I'm going to fill them just part of the way, and then I'll do a quick writing sample, then write with these for 2 weeks and then come back to you. I did not put a lot of ink in here, as you can see, like barely any in both of these, but just enough to be able to do, you know, a page and a little bit for the next couple of weeks. Because yeah, there's so much ink capacity in these TWSBI Ecos, and I don't need that much ink, so I just filled it, you know, with the bare minimum. So let's do a quick writing sample. The first pen I'm going to test is this TWSBI Eco in the cream rose of gold. And these stamps that I have here are from Everyday Explorers. So this is, ooh, TWSBI, and the model is Eco. The nib on here, and I've totally forgotten which is which. So the Caffe Bronze is extra fine. This is a fine. And the color is cream rose gold. And this is inked with Le Bon Aphrodite. Wow. First impressions of this pen. The fine nib is smooth and it's good for flow. The Eco does feel a bit small in my hand around the grip section, which worries me a little bit for longer writing sessions, but the color of the pen is beautiful, and so far first impressions are quite good. Plus, I also love the sound that makes when you cap it. So that is the Eco in cream rose gold. Let's go ahead and ink up and write with the Caffe Bronze. So here is the Caffe Bronze, and this one has an extra fine nib. So I have the TWSBI, and the model is Eco. The nib on here is an extra fine, and it is Caffe Bronze. And this is inked with Diamine Raw Sienna. I was a little hesitant about the extra fine nib at first, but this is smooth, and it is definitely finer than the fine in the cream. I like the crisp line of this nib. The flow is above average, which I also like, and this ink is a good partner for this pen, and I am looking forward to writing with this for the next couple of weeks and having my initial misgivings about this pen be changed. So that is the Caffe Bronze, currently inked with Diamine Raw Sienna. So now comes the fun part, I guess. I'm going to, will I add this to my currently inked list? No, I'm just going to do proper testing by transcribing with it, writing with it for a couple of days, doing Zentangles with this to see how I really feel about this. But I think I'm also going to choose one of these to be my A6 5-year journal pen for the month of June, and I'm looking forward to that as well. So I'll be back in a couple weeks to share how these turned out for me. All right, here we are exactly 2 weeks later after I unboxed these pens, and oh my goodness, how do I feel about having used these pens for the last 2 weeks? I truly wanted to reach for these every single day just so that I could get a proper understanding of how I felt with them, how I felt writing with them, and I did transcribing with both of them, which I really actually enjoyed doing. Writing with both of these for 2 pages wasn't as uncomfortable as I thought it would be, especially since it is a narrower pen. And then I also did some Zentangles or doodles with these as well, and both nibs, the fine and the extra fine nibs, were phenomenal. And I say that knowing that I really like my smooth nibs and my smooth pens, but these nibs, I've had other TWSBI pens before and I wasn't a fan of the nibs, but these two are actually tuned really, really well. The fine nib is so smooth and wet, and the extra fine nib actually has the perfect amount of smoothness and toothiness as well. So I really like the fine nib on here and then the extra fine nib on the Caffe Bronze. I didn't ink them up all the way because I knew I wasn't going to need all of the ink volume in there, but I think that I would probably get through most of the ink in there because I found myself really reaching for these, and I truly enjoyed the experience of writing with both of these. So my overall verdict with the TWSBI Eco, do I like it now again after all this time? Yes, I do. And I'm so glad that I decided to get both of these. I love the colors of these. I don't think I will need any more TWSBI Ecos after these two because I think this just is, you know, for me, this is the cream or brown era that I'm currently in, and these are perfect to represent that. And I'm really happy with the way that these two write. So if you are anything like me and decided to write off certain pens because of a previous experience with them, I changed my mind and that's absolutely okay. So I don't know where these pens are still available because I believe the Caffe Bronze sold out quite quickly, but I did buy this particular pen, the Cream Rose Gold from Cult Pens. So those might still both be available with Cult Pens. I think they're sold out through Atlas or any other American retailer, but do correct me if I'm wrong. But at the end of the day, I'm so glad I took the plunge and purchased both of these because I hope to ink the Cream Rose Gold. Actually, I can't decide which one I want to ink up for the month of June for my A6 5-year journal. So we'll see. All right, that is it for my full review of the TWSBI Eco in the Cream Rose Gold and the Caffe Bronze. Love them. Absolutely love them. All right, that is it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, please leave me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching and have yourselves a great day.